Hello, my name is Taylor. Welcome to my channel where I love to talk about clean and Christian fiction. Today I want to share with you the books that I hope to get to in March. First up is Bluebeard's Bride by Mary Meekum. This one comes out the end of March, so I had applied and was granted an ARC copy, and I need to get it done by March 31st. That's the deadline, and also I'm really excited about it. I had included this one in my anticipated releases video. It's part of the Displaced Fairy Tale series. And basically the premise behind this multi-author series is that each book is about a character in one fairy tale that somehow finds their way into a different fairy tale. And so it's a mashup kind of two stories together, unlikely couples, so to speak. And this one is about Bluebeard, a mashup of Bluebeard and Aladdin. I'm pretty sure the female is a genie. So it's bound to have some banter, and I love Mary Meekum's books, so I'm quite excited to read an arc of it and help support her, and I'm just so excited about that one. The next book I need to prioritize is The Sign of Four by Arthur Conan Doyle. I'm buddy reading this with Alma, and we had read the first book in the Sherlock Holmes series, A Study in Scarlet, back in October last year, and at the time I had told her that I really wanted to read all of Sherlock's books in order. And she was interested, so we're kind of loosely buddy reading the Sherlock Holmes series. And I'm really glad she brought this up as a possibility for March Mystery Month. There's a readathon centered around mysteries in the month of March. Mysteries aren't typically my go-to. I don't read a ton of them, so I don't know why, but I didn't even click that we could totally read Sherlock Holmes for this. So I'm really glad she brought it up. So we're buddy reading that, and I'll probably find an audiobook of it, and I'm really looking forward to it because Sherlock is such a great character. I think he's hilarious. But anyways, I'm looking forward to that. Another readathon happening this year is Middle Grade March. I participated for the first time last year and really enjoyed it. I'm not typically a middle grade reader. They're just not ones that I typically gravitate towards. However, I had so much fun last year. I really wanted to try and participate by reading at least one middle grade this month. They have several different prompts. By the way, if you are interested in any of the readathons I mentioned, I will try and link them in the description box below so you can go check them out for yourself. But I want to read this one, and we'll see if I can expand and do the prompts, but I would really like to just participate by reading this one at the very least. And I have been really wanting to revisit a childhood favorite. This one is The Tale of Emily Winsnap by Liz Kessler. It is a mermaid story, which is one of my absolute favorite things is mermaids. And I remember really enjoying it as a kid. There are some books in the series that I never read, so if I really enjoy it, maybe I will continue on and read the whole thing. Who knows? There's some audiobook options on Hoopla. I remember when I read it that it's about a girl who is seemingly human, but she discovers that she is part mermaid and can turn into a mermaid. I think she's looking for her dad, who's a merman, if I remember correctly. But I'll find out. I'm really excited to try and feel all the nostalgia of my childhood and see how I like it these days. The last three books on this list will all work for another readathon going on, and that's the Galaxy-a-thon put on by Macy at the Brightside Girl. By the way, if you aren't following her, you totally should, because if you really enjoy readathons, she has the most interesting ones. She has multiple readathons throughout the year. It's like every other month. And she does a couple weeks where she has a concentrated theme, and it changes each time. And this time it's March 8th through the 22nd, I think. It's Galaxy-a-thon. Like I said, it's all space themed. So I have been eyeing some books that are space themed, so I've been holding on to them for this readathon. The first one is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is part of my 26 books in 2026 list. And I had so many people comment on that video about this book specifically, how much they loved it and how, people that don't typically read sci-fi were raving about it. There's a movie coming out actually in March. So if I finish it and really enjoy it and I happen to have time to stream it, maybe my husband and I will watch it while he's on spring break. That's probably wishful thinking, but eventually I will watch the movie too. but I don't even really know much about it at all, except that everybody seems to love it that's read it. Stardust and Silence by Ashley Willingham. This author has kind of recently blown up on Christian BookTube because she's a Christian fantasy author and she coincidentally writes fairy tale retellings. So I am just intrigued just by that. But she has such excellent marketing on Instagram, and I heard about her from Kay, and I got sent this one as a birthday gift from Chrissy from Chrissy's Purple Library. And this one is a mashup of The Little Mermaid and space. And those are two of my favorite things. I love this cover. It's all blues and purples and stars and black, and I'm just so intrigued by the premise and by this cover. I don't even really need to read the synopsis. I'm sold. I've heard such good things about this author, and I can't wait to try her out. The last fiction book I have on this list has been on my TBR several times. It's on my 26 books in 2026 list as well because it just keeps not being read for whatever reason. And this does have the lowest place on the list because I just remembered after I made this list that Chantel is doing her Instagram indie book club, and this is for another month. So if I happen to get to it this month, awesome. I will have participated well in the readathon, but if not, I will read it later on in the year for Chantel's book club. So this is kind of a, if I get to it, awesome. If not, I will definitely read it for Chantel's book club whenever the time comes. But this is Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendricks. This is a girl in hiding, a boy on the run, the fate of the galaxy between them. You know, I don't really need to know much more. The cover itself is absolutely stunning with, again, I'm a sucker for space books because there's just something about them that draws me in with the purples and the stars and the black. I don't know what it is. I really enjoy that. But it is clean fiction, and we'll see if I get to it or not. Last thing I want to mention is something that I want to include in future videos going forward this year. I always mean to include it, for whatever reason, I just keep forgetting. But I do want to share what I'm reading in the Bible and what I'm learning. So hopefully for future TBRs and wrap-ups, I can talk about that because I think it's so encouraging to see other Christians in their Bible and what they're learning and what the Lord is teaching them and growing in them. So I'm going to try and remember to include that. But as far as for the month of March, I am following Clinging to the Cross. It's a Lent study by the Daily Grace Co. I won this in a giveaway, and I'm really super excited, and it's been really good so far. It has really had some good application questions, and the artwork in here is absolutely stunning. Like, I'm just pondering over the images and picturing him in real life and his ministry here on earth and his death and resurrection. It's just perfect for getting ready for Easter. It's my first ever Lent study, so I'm really excited to participate. I've done Advent studies consecutively for the past few years, but I've never done a Lent study, so it's my first one. I'm really enjoying it so far. I am also trying to keep up with my chronological Bible study using the Daily Grace Co.'s chronological study from Eden to Eternity. I had started it 3 years ago before my daughter was born, and I got to 1 Samuel and it died in my reading life, and so I'm restarting it. So I'm in Leviticus right now, and I have some days to catch up on because I'm trying to figure out how to balance all of the reading with the fiction reads and YouTube channel and life and what I'm reading for the Lent study. So I'm trying to figure out a good schedule, so I'm going to try and get caught back up in Leviticus. Leviticus, man, it's a tough one. So let me know what you are hoping to read this month. If you're participating in any of these readathons, let me know that as well. If not, leave me a shamrock because St. Patty's Day is coming up, and that's the only thing I can think of for an emoji. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Have a blessed day, y'all. Bye.